plucks it from the pedestal. Here come the combatants in what is one final battle. It's a night to remember, and as the players line up in their respective positions, they will face their flags and sing.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of South Africa. أيها الحضور الكريم، الآن مع النشيد الوطني لجنوب أفريقيا. والآن أيها السيدات والسادة مع النشيد الوطني المغربي.
Absolutely rousing rendition that resonates around her, but this is Morocco's lineup. They know Bedros has made one change from the side that started in the semi-final against Nigeria 5 days ago. It's an opportunity to return to the starting lineup for the very pacey Iman Saoud, who enjoys playing down the flanks. She'll be charging down the left channel for Morocco as they play a 4-3-3. That'll be a sheet defended with a four-player defence. They'll see one of the players of the tournament undoubtedly in Zini Bradwani starting at left back. Eitel Haj, Eitel Haj, start right back. Shah Rabbit, central defence. Shabak tonight, however. A quick photo opportunity for the Atlas Lionesses who hope to roar here at the Prince Mullah Abdullah Stadium in Rabat. It is Morocco against South Africa. These are the match officials. Salima Mukasanga, who made headlines when she became the first woman to referee at the Africa Cup of Nations, referees at this Women's Africa Cup of Nations final. It is Islam Shabak on the left of your screen and the Rafika Jane on the right of your screen as the captains of Morocco and South Africa respectively conduct the coin toss. Quick photo opportunity and then to see the lineup for South Africa. After we introduce Hayden Garab's team of video assistant referees. Team South Africa lineup as follows, with three changes from the side that started in the 1-0 win over Zambia in the semi-finals. Israel Ellis has brought Ndula Bwale into the starting lineup. That perhaps is the biggest of the changes. She has a great deal more physicality in midfield, and she'll be expecting to do the business. A tactical scheme that will play out more as a 4-3-3 rather than a 4-4-2, but they'll line up initially in a 4-4-2 situation. Handile Damini protected by a four-player defence. Karabo Damini down the left, Ramalika returning to the right-back position in place of Bongoka Damini starts down the right. And then Nungulu Bwale makes their way into midfield as Dahlia Smith is left out. And Hilda Mahaya starts as Belinda Khadiete is out. Jermaine Silvasimba will lead the line for South Africa. There is the captain on the night for Banyana Banyana, Rafika Jane, who is quick to walk over to her goalkeeper, Anil Thamini, and wish her the best of luck. For Morocco, it is a huddle. Of a title here tonight. Raymond Pedros knows what it's like to win championships. He's won the French League multiple times with Lyon. He's won the UEFA Women's Champions League multiple times with Lyon. And now, a quick final word from Salima Mukasanga to the respective captains, and then we are to get underway. Yasmin Ravet watches on, and it's Kwale for South Africa.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! It is Morocco who turn out in the colours of their flag, red and green, against South Africa who turn up in the green and gold, hoping for a gold medal at the end of this tie. And immediately looking to make an impression, Bwale with the ball into the path of Mahaya. It ultimately fails to find its target, and Morocco clear their lines. Back to Mambarani Bani, who starts in central defence for Banyana Banyana this evening. As at the far flank, it is decided this presents and now an opportunity for Mandela to come back to the shot. Surprise, and then it's back flank. Hoping to put this into the path of Ayat, but it's easily met by Zamini in the South African goal. And speaking of Zamini, I have former Banyana Banyana captain Amanda Zamini, who sits alongside for this evening's tie. A minute in, Amanda Zamini, this is a situation you know all too well. You played in the 2012 final 10 years ago. Just give us a brief insight into what it's like for the players on the pitch right now.
It's always a bit nervous, Rain, because the players really want to make sure that they implement every detail of the game that the coaches have been preparing for throughout the week. But of course, at the end of the day, it's just the 90 minutes that matter, the application, and just to make sure that you always consistently stay in the game.
You've played in what is the cauldrons. We take a look at Israel Ellis, now a three-time CAF Coach of the Year. She picked up the Women's Coach of the Year award at the CAF Awards just 48 hours ago. It's Jane wants to inspire something from South Africa. Bwale wants to work it back. Rukumato, who is the only South African ever to score in a Women's Africa Cup of Nations final, is for significantly different roles here tonight. I want to talk about the stadium, I want to talk about this venue because the Morocco players were met with absolute delirium. It wasn't just a fervent fan base, it was delirium when they arrived for the pitch inspection and for the warm-up, and indeed sing the national anthem and play. You know what it's like. You played in Equatorial Guinea against Equatorial Guinea. What does that add? And it's often referred to as the 12th player, but how significant is that in the great scheme of things?
It's quite significant, Ray, if you look at just how it is that they are the team to really South Africans is always just about silencing the noise and making sure that they play their game, which will be easy because the Moroccans are really motivated.
Yes, it was in that question to the 19-yard area. Cross coming to hit it a lot higher than the shot towards scoring. It's clear play. The former Mike Tassane is immediately repelled by the Morocco defence as Dubno brings the ball under control. Has it now with Nisrin El Shad. Saddam Sudi looks to put it back to Jani, and to Matlo she goes. Matlo, who was playing as a striker in the 2008 final, which has scored South Africa's only ever goal in the Women's African Cup of Nations gold medal game. South Africa would ultimately lose 2-1 on the night, again to Equatorial Guinea. So now playing as a defender, rather than as a striker. Sludit can't move away with possession here, and it's cleared by South Africa, but the free kick is awarded to Morocco. I think Osama just has a quick word with Matlo. Bibi, his reflection, as you know. There's a chance earlier. This Super deflected ball in. Soumafan had a shot towards goal as Bernard Delhaj steered the ball away. But a decent early opportunity for South Africa. Super showing her ability in the area. And it's the same ball towards Slovenia is begun by South African number 1. 9 minutes down. This is the Total Energies Women's African Cup of Nations final. Morocco remain undefeated and are aiming for one final victory here. But South Africa are the only team to have won all their matches at this African Cup of Nations, and they're hoping to make it 6 from 6. Following victories against Nigeria, Burundi, Botswana, Tunisia and Zambia. Shiba out towards Tugnaout. There's a sense of expectation from this crowd as Tugnaout goes to take on Ramalipe, who gets a little touch on this ball. Tugnaout laying it back onto the path of Redwani, who is uprooted. But having steered the ball comfortably away, the call is a throw-in. Super Simu back towards midfield, but it's lovely bit of work from Nagash, who picks up possession here for Morocco, but she's lost it to Mane. 32-year-old Sundown star who's just snatched the ball away from the 27-year-old based in Switzerland. Pedros. It's an intriguing tactical battle that is set to develop between Reina Pedros and Desraelis in tonight's tie, and Desraelis having been named Women's Coach of the Year for the 3rd time at the recent CAF Awards. Maybe the expectation of an upper hand from Desraelis, but do not underestimate the Atlas Lionesses coach. Ethel Hutch. That's too strong, I suspect, and indeed the ball wins its way to the goal line. How are you seeing the tactical battle between the two coaches?
It has been interesting just to observe at the moment Coach Desirie's tactics, really making sure that she gives a bit of sense of stability and a bit of muscle with the inclusion of Nombula Kaoule today. But also the coach Pedro of Morocco now really making sure that his team are sitting back a bit more compact just to absorb the pressure.
Super Simu looking to find Boiler. Here's Super Simu again. It was a decent return ball, but Nisrin Ashad dealing with Super Simu's immediate danger. Tugnaout picking up Shibak. Tazane is on her, and the Ridwani is brought into play. Looking to go on the overlap here is Ridwani. Sudi. Can't pick out Ayane as Bambanan Mbani has beautifully intercepted. Sasane. There's Butlalo. Among the star players of this tournament undoubtedly is Linda Butlalo. And this time, Karawat Lamini's ball a little too far ahead of Jermaine Supersenwe. Lamini, a few words to Hilda Mahaya. It's Mahaya returning to the starting lineup. She picked up a dead leg after scoring against Nigeria in the opening game. Ultimately, the decisive goal came off her boot in Delage. And Mahaya is the one who tears this ball as Mansoud looks to prove dangerous down the flank. Pedros, efficient passer and somebody who is renowned for his passing game in his days playing for France. Supersenwe goes off her feet, but here's Tasane Ntolo. Sino Ntolo is her twin sister, currently studying in the United States. And I remember when these 14-year-olds burst onto the scene in the then Sasol League, and how much expectation was heaped on their relatively young shoulders at the time.
Yeah, I think it was just a matter of time that we see them really broadening their territory where women's football is concerned. Notolo's entrance in the national team, her sister as well, so not all. And so, you know, the league based at home, they were introduced from Cape Town Roses. And I think just looking at their progress, it has been really a good revelation for South African women's football.
Certainly has. Mahaya this time, a little bit of a battle here with Nesrine El-Shad, who's got to be considered for the young player of the tournament. She's only 19 years old, El-Shad, and she's been exceptional. Not only has she scored, she's been a defensive linchpin for this Morocco side. Rabet, Shabak, Hanan Telhaj, one of effectively half the squad that play their football with Royal Armed Forces. Asfar to some. So 10 minutes have come and gone, goalless it remains in this final. Certainly not lacking in enthusiasm in the crowd, but they are mildly muted every time South Africa has possession. Here's Huale looking for Mahaya, who can't find a return ball, and now the captain looks to streak away. And Shibak's pass is intercepted by South Africa. Matlo. Karawat Lamini just getting himself tangled up for a brief moment. Back to Matlo, who turns 37 in September. A little flick on here by Supersenwe. Mahaya's in the area looking for a cutback, and that is going to be a corner, says the referee. Mahaya is expecting a penalty call here. Israelis, meanwhile, is receiving instructions. Mahaya around the outside, and that's a good catch of the ball by the Moroccan player. A little miscommunication between the South Africans, it seemed, because nobody was preparing to take the free kick. Huale has now picked up the ball and will head out towards the corner flag. Huale very good on the ball and somebody who can shoot from range as well. It's an area where South Africa has been lacking in this tournament. Accurate shooting from range. First corner. And dealt with by Marishi. Partisan crowd is warmly welcomed. That catch of the ball. Ridwani, Sudi, Shabak. Well, immediately on her and forces the captain into a mistake. Ramalepe returning to the starting lineup as well for Banyana tonight. She picked up a yellow card in the quarter-final match against Tunisia. I suspect Israel was deliberately resting her in the semi-finals. Mohamed started in her place. Ramalepe returns to the starting lineup here. As Zamini briefly brought into play, steers it towards the 2008 African Women's Player of the Year, Mukumatlo. Zamini, Super Senwe, looks to get past Eitel Haj, and she has done. Here's Mutlano. South Africa looking dangerous, ball in that was threatening to go in behind the defence, but the Spanish-born Rabet has claimed possession. Some of her former teammates are playing in the Women's European Championship currently. There's been Rabet, Madrid-born to a Moroccan dad and an English mother. Won the 2018 UEFA Under-19 Women's Championship with Spain. They beat Germany in the final. Redouane, down that far side flank, Redouane. Down she goes, free kick goes away at Morocco. And Ramalepe is the one that helps Redouane to her feet. So certainly with the little challenge in South Africa, they look to be putting a great deal of pressure on Morocco when they are in possession, and Morocco find themselves being pushed back ever so often.
I think the South Africans really try to make sure that when they are out of possession with the ball, they need to get closer to one another and get into those spaces. Really frustrating the Moroccans because they want to get those passing lines open, but the South Africans have really stood their ground to make sure that nothing goes through.
Yeah, indeed. Morocco played a very, very quality brand of possession football, just punctuated by an attractive passing game. And Shad looks to pick up Redouane again. She steps away from danger. How about this for a pass? It looked to be going beyond Mbane, but she's come across very nicely to snatch possession away. Intercepting that ball before Ayani could run onto it. Mbane Mbane. Juice, as she's known to her teammates, because of her sweet personality, of course. 15 minutes have come and gone, and it's a disgruntled-looking Morocco captain, Islam Shabak, and a ponderous-looking coach. Ramalepe has to deal with the green lasers that have again made their way to the venue. Shabak, here's Nakash. A little slip from Shabak, who was looking to run into a dangerous position, but the ball has fallen towards Tagnaout, who's recovered possession for Morocco. Mahia is intercepted. Mutlalo goes down, expecting the free kick. It's not gone away. And Sudi's come away with possession. Now Rabet. Redouane. She's been one of the standout players, undoubtedly, at this tournament, Redouane. Not be surprised to see her name in the team of the tournament come the end of Morocco 2022. Goal kick it'll be. Well played by Mbane Mbane, shepherding that ball to the goal line. South Africa, once again, to start their move from the back. Tagnaout looking to put Karabo Zamini under pressure. Matlo steers it forward into the respective path of Mahia, but instead it's met by Rabet. Karabo Zamini, a little bit of tidying up to do, and indeed just takes the safety first approach and knocks the ball out of play. Fatima Tagnaout with distinctive silver braids. El Shad currently turns out for Saint-Etienne in France. Saoud looking for that ball in towards the path of Redouane, and that's going to be a corner. Or should have been a corner. Lufilo Jane got a final touch on that ball from our vantage point. This is Saoud's ball. It was lacking in pace by the time it was approaching the goal line. And indeed, Gianni got a final touch on that with Iguani in sixth. But it was not called corner. Here's Saud. And towards the path of Ayan. Takes the ball wide and ball out of play on the far side. Throw into Banyana. Morocco believe they are ready for this final on every level. Physically, technically, tactically. And South Africa have similar belief in their ability. And they've been working with a mental coach, Leon Redding, just to prepare them psychologically throughout this tournament. And it stood them in good stead. The only team to win 5 out of 5. Morocco won 4 of their 5 and played to a 1-1 draw with Morocco in the semi-final. Eventually advanced to the final on penalties. Matlo. Zamini picking out Hilda Machaya. Zamini going around Taknaoud. Nagata Iore of Nigeria, the assistant referee on the near side, saying that ball was out of play. Here's Super Sema, got a little touch on that. Mahaya getting another touch on it is Delage is being put under pressure here. She's barely been able to move from her position, but on the opposite side, Radani has been able to explore acres of space down the South African right flank. Two very contrasting fullback situations at the moment.
I think it works for the Moroccans, especially on that left flank, where normally Taknaoud would operate and Radwana just covering behind her. But I think Radwana always chooses her moments very well, knowing when to overlap and knowing when to give cover. And I think on this right side, it has been a bit difficult because the fullback has to keep an eye on Hilda. And I think Hilda is one of those players, Makai is one of those players that really, once you let her go with the kind of speed that she has and the passing accuracy, she will be able to punish them.
She proved against Nigeria, indeed. Here is Mahaya. 20 minutes have come and gone, goal as it remains in this historic final. Only the third time that Nigeria will not be crowned champions, and we are guaranteed a first-time champion. Will it be Morocco? Will it be South Africa? Jermaine Super Sidwick on the ground. She's won back possession here after stepping back up. Damini. Matlo. While has come deep to fetch and looks to bring Ramalepe to play. On that far side flank, ball out of play. There's Fanta Idrissa Kone, the Malian assistant referee on the far side. Shabak to get away from Machado. Just a ridiculously gifted individual is Linda Machado. An abundance of talent. So too is Len Shabak. Born into the Shabak family. Larbi Shabak, her father having won the 1976 Africa Cup of Nations with Morocco. She is 70 minutes away from potentially winning the Women's Africa Cup of Nations with Morocco. And what a family legacy that would be. Ayan with a Shibak. It's rolling it into the path of Taknaoud, who's put under a little pressure here by Super Senwe. Tlamini's come away with it. A little too strong and wide of Mahaya. These teams have met 3 times before. South Africa's won 2. In the other match that ended 1-1 was Morocco's first ever international. It was played in Pretoria on the 5th of July 1998. It's almost as if it's come full circle for Morocco. They've They've never met in a competitive fixture. And South Africa, though, will be hoping that they can maintain their record of being unbeaten against Morocco come the end of this tie. Ultimately, a historic evening. Whoever is crowned champion will be a first-time winner. Tugnowood with a false touch, and it's a South Africa throw. She started playing for Royal Armed Forces at the age of 15, Tugnowood, so talented she was. Back to Shiba. Driven backwards by Mutlalo, who has possession now. Zabidi, studying in the United States currently. Barnett. And that's comfortable for the keeper. So trying with a long ball forward. Israelis watching on. Yunus first captain and somebody who has been a stalwart for South African football over the years. There's Masudi. Down goes Masudi. Filujane. Taking a little of Masudi. Now, this is where Morocco are most dangerous, from set pieces. Well, they've struggled to score from open play in this tournament. They have not struggled to score from set pieces. And South Africa are well aware. Both these sides have scored 8 goals in the tournament. Morocco wanting to make it 9 here. Sure, just retying their laces. 25 minutes in, goalless it remains. And Morocco over a dangerous set piece. Watch the run of Masudi, wearing number 18 for Morocco. Watch Rabet and El Shad too. Do not discount Rosella Ayan. Shabak. Floated ball that is dealt with by the height of Supasenwe. And that's out for it should be out for the corner, I thought, but it's been called a goal kick. Saw it coming off the head of Jermaine Supasenwe. Referee has called goal kick.
Yeah, I think the referee has gotten 2 wrong calls so far, and definitely in favour of the South Africans, but the Moroccans just keep applying the pressure, and kudos to South Africa for being able to deal with those set pieces situations where the Moroccans are quite dangerous.
Well, we wanted to keep it as compact as they can at the back. We don't want to be conceding set pieces to this Morocco side. Here's Mansour. So brilliant with the ball at her feet, but she's been given no space to manoeuvre. And so again, immediately wrapped up. Back to Anan Etelhaj. And squeezes that ball away to the path of Nisrin Ashad. Shibak. Tugnowood gets away from Ramalepe. Johnny is tidying up nicely. Tugnowood will get on the end of this, surely. Delivery in. And Noko Matlo has got enough on them to steer it away from immediate danger. Morocco throw it'll be, deep inside South African territory. There's Rosella Ayan. The Tottenham striker. Masudi. Shabak. Neither one of these sides, you get the sense, is going to be overwhelmed by the other or the occasion, given that they've both been able to prepare so well and defeat Nigeria on their way to this final. But taking a look at this last attack from Morocco.
They are certainly looking for those pockets of spaces just behind the South African defense. And on a number of occasions when they do combine and they have a 2v1 situation, they are able to beat the likes of Ramalepe, who's always isolated. Hence, the likes of Linda Mutalo, Jane as well, they need to drop to try and give that cover, which I think Mbane has been exceptionally great at it to make sure that the South Africans are given cover.
Rabbit. Hassan is back helping out defensively as well, has headed that ball out of play. There's Stagnout. Redouane looks for a captain. Ball out of play off Wale. So he's taken quickly. Stagnout has it. That'll be a South African throw. Ball out of play off the Morocco captain. South Africa showing a little fluid movement going into the final third of Morocco, but they are abruptly brought to a halt by the Morocco defence. The Atlas Lionesses showing their ability. Karabo Dlamini showing hers as well as she looks to pick out her captain. Janet pushing into a far more attacking position. South Africa looking to take the throw. It's a Morocco throw. Morocco currently on a 17-match unbeaten run against African opposition. As the ball stays in play, it's running along the line, and both players stopped, immediately expecting the ball to be out of play. Don't see that too often as we hit the half-hour mark. Goal as it remains between Morocco and South Africa. Patrice Motsepe, the CAF president, watching on with the head of the Royal Moroccan Football Federation, Fawzi Ledja. And Sanam Soudi. Somebody who is very dangerous and can score goals from virtually nowhere. Mutalo off her feet, looking again around at the referee. She's not going to be getting those calls tonight. This is the earlier set piece.
A well-delivered ball once again from the captain Chubak. Always just really trying to locate that penalty area, knowing very well that the two centre-backs, very tall in their height, can actually go for those aerial duels, but great work from Jermaine.
Here is Jermaine Supasimu, the end of this ball. Into that 18-yard area again goes South Africa, but the touch is a false one from Tassane. So here's Tassane picking up in possession. She's got speed. Mutalo though gets possession, down she goes. And the referee thought about it before eventually awarding the free kick.
You're going to want to see a bit more of Mutalo on the ball because she has the ability to get out in those tight situations, but incredible ability where vision is concerned to get those good passes into players. We have to make sure that the players are getting into that final third, especially the likes of Jermaine, Supasinwe, Hilda Makaya as well, just to take their chances in front of goal.
No. Mvula Huale stands over this one. That's a powerful shot from range. So does Nukumatlo, who's standing a little further back, but she might be looking to float a ball into some of the taller South African players. Eremishi stands at the ready. The Royal Armed Forces goalkeeper. It's Huale who looks to go directly towards goal. It's a little too high though and floats comfortably over the crossbar.
And this is the exact reason why Coach Desri opted to come through with Nomvula this evening, to make sure that even in long range areas she has the ability to get a good shot into the goalkeeper, but unfortunately this one, goalkeeper not forced for a save.
Rabbit looks for Ayan, and that's just a little too strong for the Tottenham striker. Reading born. Quick and lethal. Well, she scored twice in Morocco's final warm-up game against Ghana. She's sort of failed to spark at this tournament. While she scored from the penalty mark in the 3-1 win over Uganda, she's not really found her scoring boots in the way that many expected. But she is undoubtedly gifted. As Tassane is down under an awkward challenge from Tottenham. Ramalepe. It's been part of the setup now for almost 10 years. We played you against Zimbabwe back in 2014. Not the only player in this team who made the debut against Zimbabwe. Remaining Super Semi famously made her debut against Zimbabwe 12 days after turning 17 and scored on debut. Suddenly, everyone took note. There's Shivak charging forward. He's left Super Sima behind. South Africa have possession back, but it's illegally done. And we're going to see a caution here for Ramalepe, who's not unaccustomed to seeing yellow cards, and every so often discipline does get the better of her.
Ramalepe here just really caught, I think she got there late into that tackle, but also it's just a lunge, very aggressive. The referee saw a bit of fault, and I think for Ramalepe, she always constantly has to know where the likes of Tottenham are, because they want to create those spaces just to lure her into committing, and unfortunately this one she committed, and she ended up with a foul.
Ended up with a foul. Somebody who was part of the team of the tournament in 2018 was Ramalepe, who goes back to Dlamini here. That's Nokumato. There's very little between the sides at the moment. South Africa having a couple of shots at goal, but none on target. Possession-wise is effectively 50-50. Maybe that'll change here. Lovely ball in for Mahaya. Looks for goal. Armici with a fine save to deny Banyana the opening strike. The ball cleared away by Nisreen El-Shad. Now Msouri. Opportunity to make use of transition ball here. It is Ayane. Very little support. Saud is sprinting up towards the danger area. Down goes Ayane. Play on, says the referee. Much to the annoyance and frustration of this crowd. Wale comes away with possession after a little challenge with Msuli. And that'll be a free kick. First, referee Salima Mukasanga, though, is going to deal with the situation by checking on Rosella Ayan.
A possible hand to the face.
This is the move by South Africa on the opposite side. Silks in with that lovely little through ball for Mahaya.
And this is a great ability that the South Africans have. Once they get into that final third, they are very quick in their speed. It's all just a matter of giving a good pass, just to make sure that they are straight and looking at goals.
Khadija Ramici, somebody who's pulled off a fine save to deny South Africa. South African players have made their way to their own technical area. Marcella Ayan is back on her feet. Morocco fans, as of now, looking a little at the ready, expecting something to come. South Africa steering the ball into a forward position. A little tug off the ball here, and Mahaya's seen the free kick awarded to her. So South Africa in a fairly dangerous position here. It's relatively straight down the centre, but the captain Shabak with a cynical foul.
Shabak has been a little frustrated in the game, really. Things are not really going her way. She's not able to connect with midfielders and passes, and that's why she's forced into dropping into defence to try and assist her teammates, and therefore just causing unnecessary fouls. And I think this is an opportunity for the South Africans to capitalise.
Mahaya stands over this. She scored against Nigeria in that 2-1 win. She scored on her debut against Lesotho, you may recall, back in February of 2018. An exciting player and somebody who hopes one day to play for Chelsea. In Brazil, Ayan, she's up against somebody who has played for Chelsea and won titles with Chelsea. We're into the 40th minute. Moane is not taking this one. It's Mahaya, currently based in Korea. Mahaya might go directly in goal and tries and finds her effort off target. South Africa again seeking the opening goal but striking wide.
Mahaya just really trying to bend it with that left foot. You could tell by the technique that she was just going for that top corner, but unfortunately just drags this one quite wide.
Rabbit. It's a lovely diagonal ball that picks out Tatnaout. It's taken a few South Africans out of play, so too is Tatnaout. A lovely interplay here between the Moroccan players. Ayan it was. Kicked in play by Redouane and Tatnaout, but ultimately comes to nothing for the Atlas Lionesses. And Kudos poses in his thinking man position. 40 minutes have come and gone, goalless it stays. This is the Women's Africa Cup of Nations final. Morocco against South Africa. Morocco through Ayane in possession. Somebody who's won the league and indeed the Women's FA Cup with Chelsea. Tatnaout will cut back. Ayane has pushed her effort wide. It's a first shot at goal by Morocco.
Great rotation of the ball there by the Moroccans. Tatnaout at the centre of it all, once again just getting in that cutback, but unfortunately it was just behind of Ayana, who really tried to stretch out and get it to go. But another nerve-wracking moment for the South Africans.
And defensively, the last couple of passages of play, South Africa have looked a little torn apart. Speed of Redouane, Tatnaout, and indeed Ayane just dropping back a little.
I think that's one of the reasons why the coach always opts to have her, even though she hasn't been scoring as many goals. Just the ability of creating those spaces through her runs and movements. And I think she has contributed to the team's success up to so far.
Here's Mahaya to put Eremishi under a little pressure. She's done exactly that. Rabet's looking to tidy up. And he's done so comfortably. Here's El-Shad, who's giving chase. Looking to keep this ball in play. Aramishi. She's already made a fine save to deny South Africa a chance. And somebody who already has a triple save and 2 double saves at this tournament. She's going to be difficult to beat. And so too, South Africa's Andile Dlamini. Both goalkeepers having only conceded twice. Goal kick that'll be. Sassane being kept a little quiet this evening by Morocco.
It's been a little bit difficult for Tassane this evening, having to really be able to assist the likes of Ramalepe, because the pressure indeed and the attack is normally for the Moroccans down on the left.
And Amishi tries to go left. It's Tassane who picks up on it. She's got the Riley immediately in front of her. She's got Kwale as a little bit of an outlet. She's opted to go all the way back to Ramalepe. This match threatening to go to half-time goalless. Linda Baclaro has other ideas. As Jermaine Supersingh has stayed on side. No, the flag has gone up.
Supersingh just caught offside there. I think for the South Africans it's just a matter of moving the ball a lot quicker. As we see again this cutback from Tagnahut. My biggest concern though has to be that Ayana isn't marked and that the South African defense is always just caught quite late. But I think with the stroke of half-time it will give them an opportunity to go and restructure.
Elodie Nakash. Referee says play on here as Kwale looks to chase this ball down. It comes ricocheting off her shins as Mrabe clears. Morocco throw. Israelis watching on. Somebody who's a massive fan of cooking programs, and right now, no doubt, a little tense in this final. She might be hoping to watch a cooking program. Back to the kitchen, try out a recipe or two, which is one of her favourite pastimes. But this is a cauldron, and Israelis is up to the challenge, undoubtedly. So to Picos. Just a little too high for Ayan, but Tagnahut looks to keep this ball in play and does so brilliantly. Electrifying pace from the star winger inside that 18-yard area. South African defenders hoping to stay on their feet, wanting to stay on their feet. Bane initially with the challenge and Tassane helping out. In the end, it's out for the corner kick. The Atlas Lionesses are they about to roar. Moments before half-time, we hit the 45-minute mark. A minute of time has been added on, and the final play is set to be a set piece. The kind of play that Morocco have dominated from throughout this tournament. Chebak. Delivery is low and flat, and Supersingh uses her height again to steer this ball away. Time effectively done in this opening half, Amanda, but what's your take quickly on this opening 45?
Very tactical first half, Dwayne. Both teams just really making sure they stick to their game plan. Perfectly executed with minimal of chances for both teams. And we're just hoping for a much, much more exciting second half.
With that, the end of this opening half. Two sides that have come to play, but two sides that have thwarted one another's ability. Both have imposed themselves to a certain extent on the other. Morocco 0, South Africa 0 at half-time in this final. Elodie Nakash, Jermaine Supersingh, some of the standouts of the opening half.
See, I was Mr. Chew. Now here's what I'm gonna do. I know I did till love has been paid. I hate that bit.
At Total Energies, we go the extra mile for you.
Abulingile amasango. The DSTV Premiership is back. Asonye, no more sabawili. Siyabuyela Stadium. Voila with the vibes. Whether you're pulling up solo or squad D, sibuyile with that disco flavor. Utumeliti is. Cause usizo bamnandi more. Ungazimisha. And August. The DSTV Premiership. What is it all? It's calling it DSTV. Live and in HD on Supersport on DSTV Compact.
Licet kawan-kawan panggilan ni. Hey, siap rumah Asmang dah. Waktu ini dan ada kacau. Hui dekat apa mana ini? Ini kacau kacau. Siap kota, siap landa. Teman ini.
Beautiful stuff.
Siap kumana soal teman minus kosa. Super Sport.
This is the Super Sport Nation. Make it yours. The Birmingham 2022 Commonwealth Games on Super Sport on DSTV.
Abulingile amasango. The DSTV Premiership is back. Asonye, no more sabawili. Siyabuyela Stadium. Voila with the vibes. Whether you're pulling up solo or squad D, sibuyile with that disco flavor. Utumeliti is. Cause usizo bamnandi more. Ungazimisha. And August. The DSTV Premiership. What is it all? It's calling it DSTV. Live and in HD on Supersport on DSTV Compact.
The 2022 UEFA Super Cup live on Super Sport.
Whoa, we did know it was going to be extremely competitive, and that's what we've seen. Although, on 6 occasions where South Africa came close to getting that goal, that opening goal, 2 on target, no?
Yes, Carol. I mean, when we look at the stats, Morocco, they are more consistent, they are more patient on the ball, and then we can see that they have won attempts, and then I think what they want to do is to caught us in this Buma set pieces, you understand? And then I'm also worried about the side of Yaga Ramalepe because of they are taking us more on that side. So you could see accuracy, Morocco is 78% to 74%. So you could see that they are meaning business because of they are more patient the way I see it, the way they're playing now, first half.
Yeah, another situation where you're seeing so many chances, especially the way of Banyana. And now in the second half, it's time for them to up their game and actually convert those opportunities.
I hope it comes to that because so far this game hasn't lived up to the bill of being a final. You know, I think they're still sizing each other up somehow.
Yeah.
And especially that with Banyana, I have a problem with the fact that they're running with the ball a lot, especially in the midfield. If they can release that ball very early, release Jermaine and Linda, most likely one of those shots on goal can actually, result in a goal for them. Yeah.
I think also, just to add to that, combination play for Banyana would be key. We saw in one of the attacks where they managed to release the balls a little bit, the timing was a little bit perfect now. It's just for the final touch with Umakaya not being able to get to that ball, but if they can be able to just, play a little bit quicker because they are a little bit slow in their build-ups, and that means now the defense of Morocco comes and organizes a little bit quicker. But look at that beautiful combination, 1-2 play, and out they were. It's just for Umagaya to finish it off, but unfortunately enough, and that was a good save as well by the keeper, and also the defense of Morocco coming back to come and support their keeper. So maybe a lot of that, maybe Coach Des will also say, let's have more of that where we play those rondos, those triangles, especially in that final third.
Yeah, and so Coral, they can do that when they are close together because there was one stage whereby like you find Jamin alone there and they are too far apart. But if they can combine and connect those passes and being patient, especially at the final third, they will create a lot of scoring chances.
Yeah, let's take a look at the danger when the Atlas Lionesses were going up front. As you said, looking for those set pieces, but also in transition.
Yeah. Because remember we spoke in the beginning of the game that the wing backs of South Africa, they always like to advance going forward, and now it leaves a space right there behind in their positions, and that's where Saud as well as Redwani, they try and pin and make it a 2v1 in that position, pulling out Umbane from that central position. And I'm worried because as soon as Umbane is beaten, Ayan is left alone with Nuku. And Nuku, yes, she's prolific, yes, we know she's strong and everything, but we cannot be playing so risky. A situation like that one is there where you saw they were very patient in waiting for Uramalepe to go up, and immediately when she advanced up, they played the ball right there where she has left, and now Mbane has to go out of the position. We're going to struggle with that because I see they're also targeting that right side a lot. They're not even going for the left side where Udlamini is.
Yeah. I feel they're also in a way punishing Refilo because in trying to cover Ramalepe's mistakes, Refilo is going, she's going deep down there. Then she's exposing the midfield in the process.
Yeah, also as well, I'm worried the way when we lose the ball, there's more deep, you understand? And when we win the ball, there's no one up front. We're forced to play for, on our, left wing, whereby she gets the ball, there's no enough support. Because of now, what they're Morocco doing, they're drawing Fifi, they're making Fifi stay there, not to allow her to play those pocket passes. Because they know when she gets that chance, she's become dangerous and she will surprise Jermaine, Sopasingwe and Linda. And as well, I look at Linda and Jermaine as well. They are more deep in the midfielder and then they are playing up there. So I'm a little bit confused because of when they're both of them, they are there. Who's up there for as a point of target? You understand? So for me, it becomes like they're disjointed too much.
But also, coach, it's also to answer to what Morocco is doing because they started off with a 4-1-2-3 formation, but in attack, they are quick to join it to take it back to 3-3-4. So now you find Jermaine and also Umutlalo having to come back deep and playing that defensive role. My biggest worry is just our fullbacks. Our fullbacks are making the centre back positions as well as the centre midfield position having to get out of their original roles. Now that creates that role, and Chabak is going to hurt us. Chabak and Nakashi is going to hurt us in that position.
All right, let's see if there are going to be any changes in the second half. Everyone here talking about the dangers in Morocco. Let's see what transpires as we go to the second step.
Commonwealth Games on Supersport.
Yes, a few times in the past if we would play manager, and this one always is the most difficult one to win. Premier is crazy, dude.
The chase, the attack, the wild struggle for survival.
And we this league created some real good players.
She's pretty unplayable, to be fair.
Yeah, we've had a few
That's exciting. That's what the Premier League is all about. I didn't expect anything else from myself.
A manic fight to the finish. Can the champions make it 3 in a row? The hype is real. The Premier League, live it all, live on Supersport. Stay connected to DSTV Compact for football's greatest season. Broadcast brought to you by Discovery. Football's greatest season, live on Supersport, only on DSTV.
Avulekile amasango. The DSTV Premiership is back. Asibonge Nomo Sabawili. Siyabuyela estadium. Voila with the vibes. Whether you're pulling up solo or squad deep, sibuyile Filled with that disky flavor. But too many TS. Cause ustedes about none, you know. Unas nation. And August. The DSTV Premiership. What is it all? C'est quoi les TC? Live and in HD on Supersport on DSTV Compact.
Now here's what I'm gonna do. I know I did to love has been paid. I hate that deal.
At Total Energies, we go the extra mile for you.
Hey, this one na Sara Sara. The beat is Tara Tara. We go make you manya manya. This is your manya manya. Oh yeah, make you go to Mama Africa, go to make you dance, yeah. Everybody go to Mama Africa, go to make you dance, yeah. Everybody go to Mama Africa, go to make you dance, yeah.
Straight to back left. Self-scored, and despite the fact that they have won by 2-0.
So much funeral next week.
We start with Liverpool and matching.
Just several days ago. Lamidi on that. Second half is underway here at the Prince Abdullah Stadium in Rabat. There's Women's Africa Cup of Nations final between Morocco and South Africa. Morocco in the green and red up against South Africa in the green and gold. As these two sides battle for glory. They battle to become champions. Neither one has been defeated at this championship. South Africa 5 wins from 5, and Morocco having made it 4 wins from 4 before their draw against Nigeria that they ultimately advanced to the final on courtesy of penalties against the 9-time champions. Yes, Ramalepe. Back to Mbane. Ball out to Nokumotlo early. But Amanda Dlamini, the former Banyana captain, sits alongside for this evening's tie. And Amanda, are you surprised there were no half-time substitutions?
Not at all, Dwayne. I think coaches normally, in such a tactical game, will want to wait it out a bit even though the conversation in the change room, they've already set up their first sub, second sub, even in their third sub. But usually they want to keep that consistency in the team for a very long time.
There's Mahaya looking to go past Aitel Haj, delivering in towards Ramishi, but she's able to snaffle the ball and deny South Africa an opportunity. Spare Morocco blushes. Mahaya, though, is proving to be a bit of a thorn in the side of Morocco. She's growing in confidence as well.
She does really well to run defenders on that line, to try and get in those crosses. Jermaine just really arriving late.
On towards the near side, but that ball not kept in play. It'll be a throw in to Banyana. Ramishi. She's a very good all-round goalkeeper, but her distribution is an area where she is perhaps lacking. As Tassane turns on El Shad. Tassane now tries a shot at goal. Mrabe gets her body in the way. Tassane showing her ability to move without very much space around her. Here's Kwale. Pass is blocked. Tassane, though, is one possession back from Tanaut and looks for a ball into the path of Refile Jani, who is making a charging run through the centre. Now Morocco look to hit back. And then Aitel Haj. Nakash has possession. Tanaut back inside to Shabak, who is making a fantastic run through the centre. Here's Shabak. Lovely ball into the path of Sanam Sudi, but it's swept away by Noko Matlo. Up to Jermaine Supasemwe, who looks to go with pace around the outside of El Shad. Supasemwe. Driven ball into the 18-yard area, but it is a comfortable catch for goalkeeper Ramishi. Not great use of ball on the counter-attack from South Africa.
The South Africans just really capitalizing on the turnover. Jermaine's speed. I think the defenders really now know that if it is that she gets the ball cut wide, she'll always make sure that she leaves you for speed. And just in that instance, she just lost a bit of balance and a bit of power in terms of the accuracy, trying to convert.
She scored against the only other North African side present at this Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations. The winner against Tunisia, 14th minute strike from Jermaine Supasemwe, ran onto a through ball and slotted home beyond the hapless goalkeeper. Series of CAF football presidents and dignitaries have graced us with their presence. The heads of all 54 member associations of the Confederation of African Football are here and have been since the CAF Awards held 2 days ago. An awards that Senegal was the major winner at. Having 5 awards in total, including Men's Player of the Year and Men's Coach of the Year. And Desiree Ellis was seated between the two winners, Sadio Mane and Aliou Cisse, for the awards ceremony. And I was first to congratulate Renaud Pedros, who was nominated, and Desiree Ellis took the crown for the 3rd time in her career. No women's football was about at schools when Desiree Ellis was growing up. And now a 59-year-old coach. She played hockey and netball at school. And outside of school was also a very fine cricket player. But then got into football and so began a sterling career. 5 minutes down in the second half. Both these sides have showed attacking intent, but neither of these sides has genuinely threatened their opponent's goal. Vane. Salo had possession for a moment, but Sanam Sudi quite emphatically snatched possession away. Then Supasemwe. Nasrin El Shad. Very dangerous from set pieces. Here's Ridwane. Gets past Tassane. Gets away from Kwale, who recovers nicely to get a touch on that ball. Just interrupt the Moroccan flow. Throw in taken as far as Zayan up against Mbane. Oh, lovely pass into the path of Tagnaout. Now turning that ball around, finds her captain through the centre of the park, and that's going to be easily intercepted by Karabo Dlamini. Mravet, the centre-back, is making a rollicking run into South African territory here. And then they Delage. Rear foray into Banyana territory from the right full-back. Mtalo going down off the ball, free kick South Africa.
Mutalo there just being muscled off the ball, and the referee sees a foul. But the South Africans certainly doing their bit in terms of dropping deep enough to assist the defenders, just to remain compact. And I think the instruction from the coaches has been to really find Jermaine as that outlet for them to go through. But the Moroccans certainly as organized, very compact, always close enough to each other, and always just looking for that break.
Speaking of breaks, Simba looking to make one here. Pilot Salam Suri has just disrupted South African midfield's possession throughout this game, and she's done so spectacularly well and with a great frequency. Janet for possession against Nakash, recovered by Wale, now back to Ramalepe. I suppose much of the question is, will the team that wins this tournament be the team with the greatest weight of genuine ability, the one most capable of expressing its own brilliance, or the one that is best prepared and producing what needs to be done to win a championship match? It has been so tactical. Ramishi. There's Mravet. Morocco spending a little more time deliberately on the ball in this second half. They might be taking their time about getting the ball away, but I think there's a decision-making process that is going on. And then Eitel Haj and Simone Saoud, recruited for her ability, no doubt, to run at opposing defenders, but she's had very little chance to do so in this game. Eitel Haj, though, is in a position where she might well be caught out of position. So we are set to see the first change, and it's not surprising we're seeing Samia Hassani with the tracksuit top off. Rabbit. Saoud couldn't control this ball. Karabo Dlamini, with a little touch forward, that's swept away by Eitel Haj. And Saoud might be the player to make way, and indeed she is. As the board comes up, Samia Hassani, based in Belgium, born in Netherlands, is making her way on for Iman Saoud, who was born in Casablanca but grew up in France. Now, a little problem here for Redouane. Medical attention is being brought on immediately. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Substitution having just been made, but there is genuine concern here over Redouane. Mansour makes her way along the boundary line, back to the bench. The Israelis trying to encourage her players as they gather around the technical area. Moroccan supporters. Good cheer. Mama Joy Chauke is central above the South African flag. This venue packed to capacity. We're into the second half. The goal is yet to be scored. There is a little concern here over the injury to, looks to be Redouane, and we might have to see a change coming for Morocco. Medical teams, both on the pitch. The neutral medical team, emergency responders, and indeed the medical staff of Morocco. Fans watch on. There is so much hope all around Morocco, and certainly in Rabat. And that a sense today, making their way to the venue, that absolutely everybody, even those who were not making their way to the venue, were clad in the colours of Morocco. They were filled with hope and expectation. Being applauded. And she's stretched it off the pitch here. Is the Morocco fullback. And she's lifting her arm. And this is a massive blow for Morocco. It seems Redouane is not going to take any further part in this game. Women of the match in the 3-1 win over Uganda. And Chahiri is not only warming up, but has got the top off and ready to play. Play gets back underway though, with a drop ball that Amici has under control. President Patrice Motsepe among those watching on. And Jordan and Fawzi Lecture sitting alongside one another, the heads of their respective federations, competing here tonight, the Royal Moroccan Football Federation and the South African Football Association. Over the top, while is making a run. Goal is through 58 minutes in this tie, and that will be a Morocco throw. Substitution to take place. And Zina Redouane. Islam Chahiri is on in her place. As Zina Redouane. And for me, undoubtedly, team of the tournament fullback. She can play left back, she can play right back, but she's stunned with her performances playing as a left back. Fire going down to ground. South Africa have possession through Jane. He's been marshalled by Sanam Sudi. It's Jane again. Ayane on her. This is asking a great deal of Tessane, and indeed she can't reach it. Tessane fast and flashy, but there has been a fair amount of criticism in terms of her goal scoring, and she recognises that she needs to score more. It's an area she's been working on. You sometimes feel caught up in the moments on the pitch, and decision making becomes a problem in heated moments.
I don't know if it's getting caught in the moment. It's just one of those things that players in the park not generally do. But I think for a player like Tessane, she's one player who still needs to learn with the kind of experience that she'll gain, just the consistency of the game, the consistency of decision making, and just the techniques of just passing. And I think she has great ability in her.
An hour has come and gone, goal as it remains. Yeah, I mean, Tessane's ability is unquestioned, but for somebody who has found herself in a spot of bother from time to time, oh, there might be some trouble here. The referee is happy to allow play to continue. Long ball played back towards the Moroccan defensive area and trying to keep this ball in play. South Africa have done so. Here's Mutalo. A little bit of space for Jane. Can't get a shot away. Tago has stolen that ball. Neri. There's Nagash. And now a little space opening up for Morocco's passing game to flourish. into that danger area. Hassani. Cutback is good, but South Africa's defence stands firm. Kwale. Now a counter-attack potentially. Super Simba is making a fine run. Mahaya is looking to pick her out, and indeed she does. Bravetta's come across. Super Singwe. Space for Jani. Hassan is breaking into that 18-yard area. Can't pick her out, and that's a very good interception by the Morocco captain, Shibak. Completely broke up the South African counter. Salo down again. Frees this play on. Shibak. Sudi. Back to Nagash. And Shad. Trying to squeeze that out to Shiri. New player on. Shiri. She's only played one match at this tournament so far. Not much is expected of her as she comes off the bench. Replace the injured Rigwani. Here's Hassani. Searching for a ball towards Nsuri. And that's lovely from Babalani Mbani. And a ball that might very well meet with Super Singwa, who's inside the 18-yard area. Stays on her feet here, Super Singwa. She's got two players to pick up. South Africa had the opening goal of this final. It's come just beyond the hour mark. And Hilda Mahaya has tapped it home, her second goal of the tournament. She scored against Nigeria, she's now scored in the final. And for the first time in a Women's Africa Cup of Nations final, South Africa lead. They never led in 2000, they never led in 2008. In 2012, they were always behind. And in 2018, they did not score. But in 2022, South Africa are in front. And it has come through persistence. Super Singwa is staying on her feet here superbly. And then Mahaya, right place, right time, slots it home fairly comfortably, but the hard work already done.
A great build-up leading up to that goal with the likes of Bambanani Mbane just collecting the second ball, making sure that she drives the ball all the way through to Jermaine Super Singwa, who I think with her pace and their partnership with Mahaya, they always have one up their sleeves. And perfect timing, perfect execution, and well converted by Hilda.
The pained expression from Hanan Eid El Hajj, but the absolute joy. Mbane played her part in that goal. And now, the crowd on their feet. They are baying for blood. They are hoping to encourage Morocco to a response. Only the second goal South Africa has ever scored in a AFCON final. Nkomatlo scored a then equaliser in 2008 before South Africa lost 2-1 to Equatorial Guinea. Mahaya has scored the other. It currently has South Africa in front for the first time in a final at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. It might be an intimidating cauldron, and there's still plenty of football to be played, but South Africa have not been overwhelmed by the harsh welcome that they received at this venue. Mutlalo, Super Singwa, just so composed in possession. Kwale looks forward towards Mahaya, who's again looking to apply pressure on the fullback, Eid El Hajj. Jani. Shad and Super Singwa come together. Play on is the call. Yes, Sudi. She looks for timeout and will pick her out beautifully. Left foot. And a dangerous left foot at that. Ramalepe needs to be careful. She's already on a yellow card. Shibak's ball into the area is deflected kindly for Dlamini. And with 20 minutes down in the second half, South Africa lead, courtesy of Hilda Mahaya's goal. Rigobert Song among the dignitaries that watch on. The VVIPs. Directly behind him, Togo's great Emmanuel Adebayor. Among the highest scoring Africans in the Premier League. Hassani. Well, this has certainly brought the the crowd to life. They've quietened down for a brief moment, but there's plenty of enthusiasm and vigour in the crowd yet. Israelis is looking more animated in the technical area, though, than we've seen her throughout the opening hour and a bit. There's Machaya, the goal scorer. Boale, Jane. Ramalepe looks to feed for Tessane, and that'll be a Morocco throw. Hilda Machaya, player of the tournament in the CASAFA Women's Championships just 2 years ago. Concern here for Huale it is. Down for South Africa. Filo Jane, taking her responsibility as captain seriously, sprints over to see and check on the condition. But this is the grand moment.
This is indeed the grand moment. Jermaine Supersina does really well to stay on her feet. A brilliant cutback to Hilda, who just, her timing is just absolutely perfect, just to slot that one home for the South Africans.
Jermaine Supersima stays on her feet. Watch as Mrabek gets a good touch. That ball's going out of play. Supersima stays on her feet, keeps it in play, and then sets it up for Machaya. And with two South Africans charging into attacking positions, and a perfect pass from Supersima, and set up what is so far the only goal of this final. South Africa have not conceded in over 6.5 hours of game time. Not since they conceded the 30th minute goal against Burundi in their 3-1 win in their second group game have they conceded a goal. They conceded against Nigeria late on, and they conceded against Burundi. But not against Botswana, nor against Tunisia in the quarterfinals, nor against Zambia in the semi-finals. So far, not against Morocco in the final. And as Famili shows her intent to win back possession, I can tell you that Biana has her shin pads in and is ready to make her way onto the pitch as Shabak sends a lovely ball into the path of Chihiri. And Samini plucks that out of the air and holds onto the ball as if it is the most precious thing in the world. On the right of your screen, likes the Rigobert song and Manuel Adebayor. And Mercy Akide among those watching on. One of the all-time greats in Nigeria. And you mentioned Mercy Akide, you mentioned Perpetuum Bocha, and in the current generation, Asisat Goshwala. Free kick goes South Africa's way. Jane down. And with that, we'll see the substitution for South Africa.
For South Africa, number 14, Mapula, ready. Out, number 19, Rosa, Diana, in.
So, Biana has made her way in for Nomvula Voale, who brought that physicality to the midfield, who tried the shots from range, and played her part before looking like she was feeling a little uncomfortable on the pitch through some cramp. So South Africa's first substitution. 20 minutes of football to be played in this final. Maybe a little bit of a hamstring concern there for Huale. Treated by the medical staff after a way on. What does Pedros do for Morocco? Possession might be nearly equal, Amanda, but the stats say that one team has used their possession significantly better than the other.
Yep, and it's important for the South Africans with a little less position.
Here's a chance for a second! South African lead by 2 goals to 0 in this final, and Hilda Mahaya is now joint leading scorer in this tournament. In the space of 10 minutes, she scored twice, and this final has been brought to life in the most dramatic fashion. As South Africa did against Nigeria by stunning their opponents with 2 quick goals, they've done the same in the final, and Morocco are trailing by a double. Super Sema involved again. Tlamini keeps this ball in play. And then to Mahaya after El Shad tried to block that ball.
El Shad just caught there with the anticipation, with the ball just bouncing and skidding off her. But of course, Hilda always just lurking in that box to make sure that she picks up the pieces. Of course, error, but yet again, the South Africans keep imposing themselves.
South Africa imposing themselves on their opponents now. This game is opening up, and it needs to open up for both Morocco and South Africa. South Africa have a cushion goal. They have a little bit of something to fall back onto, but they find themselves now 18 minutes away from claiming glory after 4 previous heartbreaks in a final. And Amanda, you know all too well what it's like. And you know all too well what it must be like for the Moroccan players at the moment. They must surely still believe they can work their way back into this final, but this is going to be tough.
I think the Moroccans really met their match, and in that respectfully saying so, a very well organized South African side, a team that also loves to have ball possession, to rotate the ball, get those combinations. They play similar styles. But it's just, I think, the matter of energy. The Moroccans just seem to not have the necessary steam in today's game, hence the tempo of the game, which was more at the walking pace.
Well, speaking of walking, I can tell you that there are throngs of people that are filing their way out of the venue. They are Morocco fans that believe this game is done. As they make their way out of the Prince Mullah Abdullah Stadium here in Rabat, the only team to have won all their matches so far at AFCON are now leading by 2-0 in the final. Super Senwe with the ball forward. Jane. Back to Super Senwe in a little bit of space. Can she add to the goal tally? Sasane is going to be offside. But she goes around the outside, looks to tee up a teammate. Biana's effort has gone beyond Ermishi. And indeed, the offside flag eventually raised.
The offside flag eventually raised, but a beautiful run from Nkolo Tasane just to creep in behind as the third man running. But the assistant referee noted that one very well. Concerns once again for the Moroccan defense, who just seem not to be able to track the South African attacking 3, with Jermaine Siopasino doing ever so well to just drop into those pockets of spaces to allow Hilda as well as Nkolo Tasane to bomb up forward.
Well, we spoke about Morocco needing to do something. And it looks like they've got the former captain Najat Badri making herself available and ready to make her way onto the pitch as Janet traps this ball. And now looks to sprint upfield. Biana works the ball out wide into the path of Mahaya, who's sitting on a hat-trick. Not be the first hat-trick in a final. Pepe Gocha has previously achieved that. But there's still 15 minutes for Mahaya to write her name in history in neon lights. Super Senwe, Biana, Zamini, 15 minutes to play. Half an hour done in the second half. South Africa leading by 2-0. Jane. A little tug of the jersey there from Jane, and free kick is awarded to Morocco. We are going to see a double substitution for Renaud Pedros, and he's bringing on Najat Badri, the experienced midfielder who wears number 10, and the incredibly dangerous Ibtissam Jaraidi. Ibtissam Tiredi makes her way on for Sanam Suri, while Elodie Nakash makes way for Badri. Ibtisam Tiredi has just clinched her 4th golden boot of the Moroccan Domestic League, having scored 32 goals this season. And now she has been given a run for a little shy of 15 minutes in the hopes that she can find not just one, but at least 2, or at least help Morocco to work their way back into this game. Morocco needs 3 goals to win it from here, 2 goals to force extra time. But Morocco, having conceded twice in the entire tournament, have now conceded twice in the space of 10 minutes against South Africa. South Africa holding on to possession here, looking to deflate their opponents. Diana, back to Flamini. Somebody who's often leading the side in song. She's recorded a couple of songs as well. A gospel song and a song as well about women's football and Manana Manana. A wonderful voice, and you can only imagine what the singing is going to be come the end of this tie if South Africa do hold on and claim the title. There's Badri. Back to Ait Al-Haj. Shibak. Here's Super Sinwe. Diana, back with Super Sinwe. Hilda Mathaya has scored twice in the space of 10 minutes of this second half, in what is only her 3rd appearance at this tournament. Fatima Tagnaout throws her head back in disappointment. Here's Shibak. But this is potentially life-changing for both these sides. South Africa currently have one hand on the trophy and will ready themselves to receive their gold medals. And it's genuinely life-changing for these players. If they lose in the final, they'll claim 55,000 Rand bonus. If they win this final, they will win 400,000 Rand each. That's the equivalent of around about 24,000 US dollars. The bonus is there. Amanda Dlamini. None of the players, though, claim they were focusing on the money at all. This is about winning the gold medal.
I think the South Africans have been to the final for so many times, and it would be so rewarding if they win the trophy.
Lovely chance here for Morocco. Get that now, get them back in. Right to the Morocco are fighting their way back in here. Rotella Ayani gets the first goal from open play in this tournament. And South Africa trying to keep it composed at the back and found themselves caught on the break by a rampant Morocco, who are trying to inspire themselves after the crowd had gone quiet. But the stadium utterly enlivened again as Ayane gets the second of the tournament.
Ayane once again just showing up at the right time. South Africa is just lapsing concentration, dispossessing their own half, and the Moroccans punish them. But once again, great vision from the likes of Tagnaout just to get in there, give that cross back, and Ayane says thank you.
Ayane with a fine goal that capped off a magnificent move from Morocco. Tiredi heavily involved, Tagnaout with the square ball, and then the finish from the England-based striker. This game is not yet done.
It's far from over. It's far from over. The kind of joy, the kind of belief, I think that was a lifeline for the Moroccans that just completely erupted the stadium. Now it's for the South Africans just to implement their game management strategies to see if it is that they can hold on for the 90 minutes.
Zelayane asks for a little water. She was deliberately kept on by Hernal Pedros, and she has repaid the faith shown in her by scoring at such a critical moment, in a critical phase of this game. 9 minutes to play plus added time. And for South Africa, it's the goal scorer Mahaya who has been stretchered off here. There's chance of ole, ole, ole around this venue. Morocco need two to send this game to extra time. They've found one. The South African flag still waves. But the roar from the stadium is significant. And they are smelling blood now. South Africa are going to make a change. Melinda Khadiete is readying herself to come on. This is anxiety-provoking for the South African fans. So too for the Morocco fans. South Africa still in the best position, leading by a goal. Mahaya is not yet off the stretcher. South Africa have 10 players on the pitch. And Morocco wanting to capitalise. 8 minutes to play. Shabak. Chihiri. In behind the striker's line. Taraidi can finish. Can she find a finish here? Looks to tee it up for Tano, but Hamalepe just boots the ball away. And with that we'll see the substitution for South Africa. It is Mahaya who will not return to the pitch. Khadiete is on in her place. Zelayane, the apologetic hand up after colliding with Zamini.
It does get a bit physical, and the emotions tend to be a bit high in this closing stages, especially when you're chasing a game.
Andile Zamini works this ball out wide. Nobody there to pick it up. Israelis against Hernal Pedros. South Africa against Morocco. A night to remember. Morocco looking to finish strong. And they've certainly got their tails up. Tagnaout has been emphatically brilliant. Taraidi, too strong. Goal kick it'll be. Pedros willing his players forward, wishing for a goal that'll see this match go to extra time. How much more drama do we have in this second half? The first half, an incredibly tactical affair between two sides that were showing their technical ability on the ball and tactical prowess on the pitch. The second half, far more open, free-flowing, and 3 goals. 2 to South Africa, 1 to Morocco. Rabbit. Hassani. A lofted ball behind the South African defence, who put under pressure here. Nukumatlo steers it as far away from her goal as she possibly can. Up to Khadiete. Up against 3 Moroccan players, she gets the pass away. Diana. 5 minutes to go to the 90-minute mark. It is 2-1 to South Africa. Morocco have back the possession that they wanted. Badri's pass just in behind Tagnaout, while for South Africa, concern again for Banyana, with another player down, this time Stupasinwe. medical attention being summoned, but this, a glorious moment for Morocco. How about Tagnaout?
Tagnaout just chooses the better option. That is always to try and give a free pass to a free player. And this time around, the weight of the pass, the precision of the pass, Ayana just comes in very nicely to slot in, and that has really given the Moroccans some sort of faith, just to really try and fight their way back.
Absolutely. Sofia Boustini, a midfielder from Royal Armed Forces, among those trying to cheer on her teammates, get them across the line for a second goal. Throw in taken quickly by Morocco. Here's Shibak. Morocco are finishing strongest. Hassani looking to take on Darabo Dlamini. And Dlamini stands firm. My word, Darabo Dlamini. An excitable character she is when she's not on the pitch. And somebody I can tell you is wanting to become a YouTuber. She's often interviewing her teammates. Can you imagine the interviews that will go on behind the scenes if South Africa win? And can you imagine what she'll be like at the FIFA Women's World Cup? Both these sides have been qualified. Here's Morocco. Traide looking dangerous. This ball squirts into a position where Ayane could have latched onto it, but for the intervention by Biana. Another quick throw for Morocco. Tagnaout has made herself available to receive from the throw. Chere into Shibak. Linda Mutlalo squeezes that ball away. Here's Badri. Hanan Ait El Hajj. Morocco threatened here. Ayane! And that'll be a false strike. Gave Morocco a glimmer of hope, but ultimately a missed chance, and South Africa survived what is proving to be a late onslaught here. Maybe a little too relaxed after going 2 goals up.
Just a little too relaxed. As you see this opportunity once again, Mbane does really well to put herself in front of Ayana just to give a bit of pressure, but poorly executed at the end of the move.
Morocco are motivated. They want to win on home soil. Delivery in here looks wonderful again, and so inviting. It might fall kindly for Tagnaout, who's got a very, very dangerous left-footed shot and packs an awfully lot of power into her efforts. A free kick goes South Africa's way. Referee will go to check on Mane. So no, just a little physical, a little shove from behind. And just the earlier chance. They came to this tournament to book a place in the FIFA Women's World Cup as their first objective, South Africa. But they undoubtedly came to claim gold. And they're moments away now. We hit the 90-minute mark. 4 minutes of time has been added on. Well, the board says 9 minutes. It was initially announced as 4, but 9 minutes of time has been added on here. Morocco are looking most threatening. There was a serious injury concern for initially Redouane, and a fair amount of added time has been laid on at the end of this time. Just adding to the fervour of the fans who are baying for blood and glory. Hermishi. Forward to Mrabet. Play on, says the referee initially, and then a free kick awarded to Morocco. Tugnout will step up to feed this one in, and Zelayani having won the set piece. Reno Bedros, tactically astute coach. Andile Tamini, will she be tested? Morocco so dangerous from set pieces. Delivery here from Tugnout. Tamini's come out. Has she been fouled? Referee says yes. Now, Iftisim Drady has come out and wagged a finger at Salima Mukusanga, who's not the kind of referee that you do that to. Andile Tamini having gone up for it. The collision with El Shad. Reactions of disbelief and disappointment from Morocco. South Africa survive a set piece. They still lead by 2-1. There are some empty seats around. After South Africa went 2 goals up, a handful of supporters stood up and left the venue. But Morocco fought back valiantly. Well, there's a Moroccan fan dressed in yellow. South African fans, though, clad in Safa colours, the green and gold. Tamini back on her feet. South Africa to get the ball back into play. Bambanani Mbane. She's a defender. I love the fact that when she went to Belarus and joined Dinamo Minsk, in just her 3rd game she scored a hat-trick from Bambanani Mbane. Doesn't happen often for defenders.
No, it certainly doesn't. But Bambanani is one of those players that certainly always have a good eye for goal. If it is that she's not playing in defense, she does have the abilities to play in midfield.
And the ball through here, it's too strong though by the very dangerous Drady. Iftisim Drady. I'm very surprised she's sitting as deep as she is at the moment, but when you consider the combination of Tugnout and Ayan, maybe that is a deliberate ploy. It was Drady who fed the ball to Tugnout, who squared it for Ayan to score. 5 minutes of added time remains. South Africa leading by a goal. Shebak. Now towards Hassani. Towards Lamini, looking to get on the end of it. Nukumatlo knocks it up to the halfway line. But it's fallen kindly for Khadieta here. Here's Super Senwe. Breaks it to Moroccan territory. Rabit. Shebak. Fouled. Free kick Morocco. Now, out of screen, a little bit of pushing and shoving going on. Here's Super Senwe again for South Africa. Down she goes. Play on is the call. Khadiete. Khadiete up against 3 Morocco players. She's got very little support. The sun is there. Shebak has come away with possession. Here's Shiri. Up towards Drady, scooped away by Mbane. Well, if we thought there was going to be tired legs and fatigued minds on the pitch, you're in for a surprise, because this is as intense as it gets. It is high tempo, high octane action.
This is intense as it gets. At this point in time, it's just a matter of fighting the mind to coordinate with those tired legs, but it's always the execution of making sure that you implement what is necessary.
Tesani squeezes that ball up into Moroccan territory. Michi out of her area. Rabbit calling for it. His three-player front line for Morocco up towards Ayan. Don't know if he's chasing this one, but it's Ramalepe who's knocked it away. Thierry into a danger area here, and referee says free kick South Africa. Well, you cannot say that this is not a brilliant advert for women's football. Now, play is not getting back underway immediately. We've got 7 minutes of added time that has been played. Shiba wins possession. Here's Hassani. Hanan Eitel-Haj. Lovely delivery into the danger area. Morocco trying to find their way through again. And Jani has steered it away, only as far as Badri, who has Shabak on her outside. South Africa scrambling. Tassani clears. Morocco back into a danger area here, and the header is just wide. Closing moments. A moment of glory potentially for Mrabet, who's already scored a winning goal at this tournament. But not to be. Bumeka Gamed is making her way on very late in this piece, and she comes on to replace Nokfoluk Tosane. But the substitution that has just been brought up is being put on hold here because South Africa's got an injured player down inside the 18-yard area. The fourth official, Mahia Vive, has pulled Kamere back, and Tassane stays on for now. Closing moments of this Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations final. Morocco against South Africa. The second half has been a superb advertisement for women's football on the continent. That is it. That is the final whistle. South Africa, after 5 attempts, have finally claimed glory in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations final. They achieved immortality as they claim their first title in the AFCON. Morocco are defeated for the first time in the tournament. South Africa march on, but Morocco outmatched, outclassed, outplayed. South Africa out of this world. They are champions for the first time. Mahaya's brace and Ayana's consolation goal ultimately, the 3 goals scored in the second half, but it is delight and glory and cheer and joy, celebration and elation for South Africa. But feel for Morocco, playing in front of their home crowd. They are crestfallen, they are crushed, they are disconsolate. This has been a great moment of anguish. It was built up to be a moment of glory for Morocco, and it has fallen flat for the team late on. It is Morocco who fall to the ground in disappointment. There is tears of anguish for Morocco, but absolute tears of joy from the South Africans. The fans who came out in numbers were superb. They added such gloss to this tournament. But ultimately, it will not be Morocco's night. It is South Africa's night. They are champions of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Amanda Tamini, just take us through the final moments.
Absolutely unbelievable. Very well deserved for the South Africans. First time ever. So many tries. Coming second best every single time. When the time is right, the opportunity presents itself, you have to make sure you maximize. I'm so super proud of the South Africans, super proud of the Moroccans. A great spectacle of women's football.
A fantastic spectacle of women's football. It has ended in favour of South Africa by 2 goals to 1. There are still many moments to be had. Sanam Sudi, crestfallen after this. For South Africa, still celebrations. Jermaine Supersenwe, Helen Swart. But it was Hilda Machaya's strikes that separated these sides ultimately. Tesane gets to celebrate. She is a champion of the continent. And she's only 21. Linda Mutlalo. There was a great deal of belief that she would be a champion. Indeed she is. Saba Segir. The tears for the Moroccan players. Linda Mutlalo and Israel is celebrating. Andy Ledlamini and Jermaine Supersenwe celebrating together. But tonight, one needed to win, and for the other, there was going to be pain of finishing second in a tournament in which they have been absolutely superb. Neither one of these sides, you could argue, were not deserving of the title had they won. But tonight is South Africa's night, and they will celebrate long and hard after this victory.